So I've got something different that I want to do today. Typically, this is a vlog that's devoted to magic and mentalism. But I'm an avid reader and I'm an avid writer. I've got 2 novels published, The Mentor's Gift and The Christmas Garden. And I love to read fiction. So I've been doing some research in the area of vaudeville. And vaudeville is responsible to a large extent for who we are today as magical performers. It was in the vaudeville era that what is considered classics of magic were born and invented. And we inherited all of that and we built upon it. So we owe a lot to the vaudeville performers of the past. And I've been doing a lot of research in the area lately, doing a lot of reading of histories and so on. But I love fiction because fiction can, if it's done right, fiction can take us into the world and allow us to experience the world almost firsthand. So I love fiction for that reason. So I started looking for a book that was a fictionalized account of the vaudeville era. And what I found is this book here, Selling Hope, by Kristen O'Donnell Tubb. Selling Hope. It was fantastic, and I so loved it and so appreciated what this author did that I wanted to get on here and make a recommendation. And I suggest, if you're interested in magic, if you're interested in vaudeville, if you're interested in what it might have been like to be an entertainer in that period, and we're talking about May 1910. May 1910, which coincides with Halley's Comet. And the book very much ties together these various themes. The coming of Halley's Comet, what it's like to perform in a vaudeville circuit. Buster Keaton is one of the main characters in the story. And of course the main character is Hope McDaniels. Now, Hope McDaniels is a young teenage girl. Her mother has passed away. She's on the vaudeville circuit with her dad, who is a magician, and he's quite a good magician too. There's another thing I appreciate about this author. She got her history really. She must have done either a great deal of research or she had some exposure to it somewhere along the line. I don't know. I don't know her, but she did a great job with the magic. She did a great job with vaudeville. She did a great job with Buster Keaton, and she did a great job with Halley's Comet and tying all these real elements into this fictitious story that she's created. So I thought it was fantastic. I want to recommend it to you. It was one of the books. Again, it's a cliche, but it's true. You pick it up, you start reading, you won't put it down. I promise you. Now, I will share this. I'm very sensitive about how performers treat their audience. I think that magic has gotten I want to say it's a bad rap, but I understand why it got the rap, because there are magicians out there who get audience members up and they don't treat them well. And to me, that's terrible. Howard Thurston, arguably one of the greats of history, great magicians of all time, used to stand backstage behind the curtain, before the curtain opened, before he went out to perform, and he would say over and over in his mind, I love my audience, I love my audience. And he wanted to bring a sincere appreciation, a sincere affection into his performance. I think Blackstone performed that way. I think if you look at the great performers of history, they've all performed with a sense of affection for their audience. When you're a performer, you're giving something. You're putting yourself out there. And you should do that for someone that you respect and someone that you love. Well, Hope McDaniels goes through what you call a character arch. And she starts at one place and she stops somewhere else. And it's that journey that is so fascinating and so wonderful, and really it makes the book so fantastic, among other things. But she learns over a period of time to appreciate what she has and who she is. And I don't want to give away too much because I want you to read the book. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to expose the ending or expose what she does or anything like that. The basic story: Hope McDaniels is the assistant to her dad, who is a vaudeville magician, and they're in kind of a lower circuit. The Keatons, Buster Keaton and his parents, have been downgraded from the main circuit to perform along with Hope's family in the kind of minors. He's kind of like baseball, if you can think of it that way. You know, you're in the majors, then you're in the minors, then you're back in the majors again. Well, this was a minor circuit that we're talking about here. And they've made a stop in Chicago in May of 1910. And at that time, Halley's Comet was predicted to come, and some people thought it might cause catastrophe. And so Hope McDaniels doesn't want to continue to perform in vaudeville. She wants a home. And who can blame a teenage girl for wanting a home, a permanent home to live in and not be on the road? Buster Keaton here, he was literally born into vaudeville. He began performing with his family at the age of 3. And the reason, this is maybe this story is legendary. Is it true? I don't know. But it's repeated in the book, and if you look at biographies of Buster Keaton, you'll find that it's repeated a lot there. Buster was not his birth name. When he was very young, maybe 3, maybe 4 years old, he took a tumble. They called it a buster in those days. Harry Houdini saw it and said, "That's quite a buster he took." And the name Buster stuck from that moment on. And Houdini himself, as Buster Keaton rose to fame and popularity, Houdini was fond of telling that story, that I'm the one who named Buster Buster. So interesting story there. But anyway, it is repeated in the book, Selling Hope. So the vaudeville team that she's working with and her dad, they make a stop in Chicago. And they're performing in a theater in Chicago. And she wants to live in Chicago. Her mother is from Chicago. She wants to put roots down in Chicago. So she comes up with this idea of making some money. And what she's doing is she's selling what she calls comet pills. There's some great artwork in this book that I'm not sure I'm going to expose here. But this right here, anti-comet pills. Hope's anti-comet pills. An elixir for escaping the wrath of the heavens. Now, I love the artwork in there. And I'll tell you what, it's nice enough to pick the book up for by itself. But the book's much better than that. So she starts selling these anti-comet pills that she says will protect you from the deadly effects of the comet. And people need hope, and this is another theme in the book. People need hope, and they look to her, this young girl, for this hope in this very troubled time. And Buster here assists her in this endeavor to raise money. Now, I'm not going to expose too much of the story, but you know, she goes through some changes, and she has some revelations and some personal understandings, and she becomes a truly heroic character. And the book is truly heroic, and it champions the highest values, and I love it. I bought it because I'm interested in vaudeville. I bought it because I'm interested in magic, and when I read the synopsis and I found out that, oh, she's the assistant to her dad who's a magician in vaudeville, and Buster Keaton is a part of the story, I'm like, wow, could it be more perfect? Well, the answer is no, it couldn't be more perfect. And Kristen here did one fantastic job, and I just want to highly recommend this book to you. Once again, the book is Selling Hope by Kristen O'Donnell Tubb. Selling Hope. Go out, get it, read it. You won't be sorry.